Okay, I think it's going to be easiest if I go through the lab process with you guys via video. So please make sure that you watch this entire video because it's going to talk exactly about how you're going to do the labs as part of the class since you're the online learners. So when you look at this form, we have labs that are listed below. You must complete some of the labs in order to meet the standards. So just like every class, we have standards that we have to cover with you guys. And part of culinary is being able to complete labs. So we have two types of labs, and this has always been the case. In the last few years, we switched to this. So we have priority labs and we have fundamental labs. The priority labs, when you look down here, are going to be highlighted in orange. Those ones must be completed in order to pass the course, okay? And that's true for every student. Even if someone's gone, last spring, for example, if someone missed a priority lab, they had to make that up on their own at home, okay? So those must be done. We have extra labs that we do in class to help build on our skills, and they all fit with each unit that we're doing. So the extra labs that we do are called fundamental labs. I will allow you guys to choose if you would like to complete some, all, none of these fundamental labs. That's up to you. Everyone in class will get scores for the priority labs. That's going to be the focus for you guys, okay? So orange is priority, and we'll go through that list here in a second. The next thing it says, you may complete labs outside of class time, okay? Totally understand if someone needs to be home while you're cooking and no one's home while you're during the day during your schoolwork. So whatever, you just need to talk with your families and figure out what's gonna work best for you guys and when you can make your labs. So that means you might log into the Google Meet for the day, and if we're in lab, I'll take attendance and I'll leave it on, but you don't necessarily need to sit there and watch the rest of your class cook unless you want to. You can cook yourself during that time, but if that's not allowed in your home, totally fine. Then you can log off for the day and work on something else for another class because you're going to be working on my class later on when you do the lab. So you just need to figure that out with your families. Recipes. We have linked all the recipes below, which we'll look at here in a second. If more than one recipe is listed, you would just choose one. So if we have like a list of 3, those are the 3 that are being done in class. We've spaced them out into different kitchens. You would just choose one. You don't need to make all of it. Or you can select your own recipe that is similar, okay, based on ingredients that you have at home. So for example, our first lab is cookies, just to practice measuring. We have linked right here the chocolate chip cookie recipe that everyone's making. You do not have to make this recipe. Maybe you have all the ingredients for snickerdoodles. Totally fine, okay? So you can just choose something that's similar. The last column is meant to help you out. So this is the skill that we're assessing. So that way, if you're not sure if a recipe will work, double check that last column and you should be good to go. If anything, if you have questions, just email me. You can send me the recipe that you're thinking of using and I will kind of tell you, yes, that works, or no, maybe we should find something else, okay? So, and then obviously this is my email here. For each lab, you're going to complete this home lab form that's assigned in, or that's in Canvas. Make sure you read through the form first. I'm going to show you here in a second. There are picture requirements or video requirement for the form. It's the only way that we're able to really truly see how well you're doing at home is through the photos or video. So when you click on this, I already have it open, it's going to force a copy. Okay, this is a form that we had already been using for anyone who is absent. So you can kind of read through this on your own time, but each box is something you're going to either type or insert photos or videos. You're going to tell me the recipe, the lab that it's for, ingredients, tools. I'll let you read through this, but I just wanted to point out, so like here, this one says insert a photo of all of your ingredients measured and ready to start your recipe. So you just need to make sure that you're taking photos along the way. I would hate for you to finish your first lab and you didn't take any photos and you would have to redo it again, okay? So take lots of pictures. If you do a video, just make sure you condense it down so I don't have to watch like an hour-long video of you making cookies or whatever it is. So make sure you read through this so you know exactly what you need photos of. Once you fill it out the first time, I think you'll find it's a lot easier and you'll know what to take photos of. Okay, so that's the form, and you can change it to the name of the lab that you're doing. If you are concerned about being able to complete these priority labs, please, please, please make sure you reach out to me or your counselor, because you have to do those. Every student has to complete the priority labs in order to complete the course. So if you're concerned about being able to have enough ingredients or equipment, totally understand. This would be very tough to be doing all of these at home, so I get it. I would hate for you to drop the class. Maybe we can find another time in your schedule to take it, like maybe next semester, unless things are still the same, or next year. But hopefully you'll find that you'll be able to stick with it. But I just want to throw that out there, okay? Talk with your families, and if this is something you're just not going to be able to do, then we need to get it figured out for you. Okay, so the chart below has the lab or the unit or lab. The recipes are linked here, and then the skill assessed here. So these first two are the first lab, or the first unit, excuse me. So our kitchen introduction and our knife skills are kind of in this first unit. So here's the recipe. You could click on that if you wanted to, and here's why we're doing that lab. Knife skills. Knife skills are a little bit different. It's an individual lab in class. Bruschetta is what the students are going to be making. You do not necessarily need to make bruschetta. You could do something that involves doing the different cuts. We're going to practice with Play-Doh, so we have a recipe for that. Before we do the food, maybe you just do the Play-Doh, and maybe you don't make the Play-Doh, maybe you have Play-Doh at home and you do all these cuts. That would be totally fine with me. So the knife cuts is just a little bit different than all the other labs. Fruits, okay, here's our 3 that we're doing in class. You would just choose one or come up with your own for that one. Same thing with vegetables. Okay, so here's a green one. This one's not required. It's just building on our skills when it comes to our egg unit. Egg cookery, this one is required. So you're going to make one of each of these types of eggs, and the recipe is there. So I'll let you click through this. Again, orange you must do. Green is kind of our extra labs that we use to build skills. So focus on the orange. So once you have that lab form done, I just want to show you real quick. Okay, so when you go to turn it in, I will put I'll organize all the labs in the modules for you. Normally I don't, but I think that's going to be easiest for you. So here's our first unit, okay, and then the labs. Cookies the first one. So you'll fill out that form, and then you'll want to submit assignment. You'll go to, I think you guys have maybe Google Drive here. Yeah, so you can click on Google Drive. You'll find your completed form. Mine's not going to be there because I didn't do it. And then you'll link it and you'll click Submit Assignment. Okay, and that's going to be how I score your labs. So again, if you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. This kind of is everything that you need to know as far as the labs go. And again, you don't need to be cooking when we're cooking in class. You might be doing it another time. So always check in on the Google Meet for attendance, and then we'll go from there. Okay.